Hello. I was having a munch on something and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to press the record button and be caught midway munching the imperfections of life and being alright with that. No? It's kind of nice, isn't it? You don't have to start perfectly. You don't have to have things prepped for this. Yep, I've done it again. I've turned up kind of not really knowing what I want to talk about. I do that a lot, by the way. But I want to talk, though. I know that much. So that's why I carry on doing this. But yes, welcome back to another session with me. And maybe I'll say what I was munching on first. So it's Diwali today, and normally around this time I'd be at my parents' place or with my husband's family, and because of our situation we are, the two of us, where we are. And this week I was talking to my mum who'd made besan, which is an Indian sweet, and it was like, come and get it. I was like, it's not gonna happen. And then, you know, one of the nice things that's come out of this situation is receiving things through the post. So, you know, they probably wouldn't have thought of doing that before, but I've got my besan in case in case mummy or daddy are watching. And I've also made myself a nice cup of tea to go with it. And I'm celebrating Diwali with my husband. And yeah, it's a different kind of Diwali, but it's okay. It's all right. It's just learning to find a different rhythm. I think that's what a lot of this time during 2020 has been for a lot of people, me included. So, and yeah, I'm learning to find that new rhythm and to just breathe into it. And you know, sometimes the breath might be held and you know, I can't do this anymore. And sometimes the breath is flowing and it's easy and you're just kind of moving from one thing to another thing to another. And that's okay. That is how life is, no? Sometimes we struggle and sometimes we don't, and we move through things with so much ease. So yeah, I think this week there has been a bit of struggle, just a little bit of struggle, because I'm adjusting to a different routine. I've taken up a part-time job, and with that has come structure, and I guess at the end of the month there'll be some money. And I mean, those are the two main things that were my kind of driving factors for taking this job up in the first place. And I define those two things, and you know, more of which I'm sure hopefully will come through in a moment. But those two things kind of for me are defined as the kind of masculine energies of the world: the doing, the structure, the kind of drive to do things. And what I've been grappling with is because for the last couple of years I've been probably more in the feminine, or moving more towards the feminine energy, because that was instinctively what felt good, what felt right for me. I felt like I needed to do that. I needed to let go of a lot of what I thought I needed to be doing, what I thought I needed to be showing up as. And that in itself has been a journey, because when you're starting to let go of so much, you kind of start forgetting, well, not forgetting, but losing, feeling lost, feeling uncertain, feeling insecure. I think that's the word. Like, oh my God, if I'm not this, and if I'm not doing this anymore, and if I'm not, you know, defining myself as this kind of person, then who am I now? There's a lot of kind of, felt like darkness, to be honest. A lot of darkness amongst glimmers, like Machu Picchu, and I took on a dog walking job, and yeah, like last summer was pretty awesome, just lying around in the sun. So those are the glimmers. But then there was that darkness and that uncertainty and that insecurity that came with allowing all these kind of molds and labels and kind of, what I want to do is this, like boxes that we put ourselves in, so that, you know, I'm this and that's all I am. And, you know, the world makes sense to me now. I understand where I fit into all of this and the system. And when you're, you know, learning to let go of all those different aspects that made up your life, it's tiresome work. That's what I found. I remember sleeping quite a lot, actually. Initially, like having lie-ins and then going to nap during the day, and surprisingly not struggling to fall asleep at night even after those naps. So yeah, there is, like, I think one of the misconceptions around allowing yourself space and time is this kind of idealistic, utopian view of, well, life must just be so perfect for you, and you must be so happy and free, you know, to like just live how you want, get up at whatever time you want, do whatever you want, not do what you don't want to do. And it can be all of those things, but from my experience, it wasn't necessarily. A lot of the time, it wasn't those things. And that was because I was struggling to let go of all these different things that I thought I needed to be. And, you know, a lot of shaming, like, why am I not doing what any other 33, 34-year-old is doing? Which is pretty much, you know, working full time, earning some dosh, especially, you know, in London, doing a lot of work, spending a lot of time in the workplace, more so than you would at home probably. And, you know, a rat race, as they call it. Like, why am I not doing any of that? The whole world around me is doing that. Why am I not doing that? And that guilt, I think, as well. But then there did come a time when the guilt got less, and the shame also lessened, and the noise around all of that got less. You know, the judgment around it got less. And then, yeah, like I said, I think that there's something about allowing space and time for that. Like, it didn't matter how many times people around me said, it's okay, you know, you've got to do what you've got to do right now. It just didn't seem to matter, because that, you know, that shame and judgment is coming from within, and it's about working with your own self-judgment and your own self-shame, as much as people around you try to convince you that it's something, that you're doing good for yourself. And yeah, it took time, and it is still taking time. There is no doubt about the fact that this is an ongoing process. And yeah, as I was saying, I felt probably in the last month or two that I'm ready to bring more structure back into my life. And for the past 3 weeks I've been working part-time 3 days a week, and it's interesting, it's quite noticeable actually how the energy from doing the work then follows through into the days that I'm not doing the job. And some of it is good energy, but some of it has been energy that has been created in the work and then followed me into my own, well, not my own, but the rest of the week. But yeah, I just wanted to focus more on the fact that that structure is actually, I feel like it's unlike before I took the time out from work. I felt like I was forcing myself to live in the masculine a lot more, and then, as I said, allowed everything to drop away, allowed more feminine creative energy in. And we're 2 years on, and I feel like now, and I've been saying this quite a lot recently, but it just makes so much sense. I feel like the two energies are in tandem now, like they're working alongside one another. It's not like the masculine is dominating or the feminine is dominating. I feel like there's kind of this, I did it in our reading group this week when I was trying to describe it physically. I was thinking of the that move, if I could do it. So when you're doing this with your arms for yoga, I think it's the eagle pose, I can't remember what exactly it's called, but when you're twisting your arms around and you're twisting your legs as well, I feel that that's where I'm at with my relationship with the masculine and the feminine. I feel like they're more kind of intertwined. They're working for one another rather than against one another. Because I think that the 2 years of me breaking away from the masculine, it was kind of like there was this, almost like a battle. And the feminine was like, no, Jaspreet, it's time for you to just let it all go. And, fighting against the doing and the, structure. But she had to do that. I'm talking about it like it's not me. I had to do that. I felt like I needed to do that for myself, to really claim that energy, that force within me that we all have, regardless of what gender we are or however we identify ourselves. I truly believe that we have both of these energies within us. And some may argue that we're living in a society, particularly the Western society, because I cannot speak for any other place. This is where I've grown up. But some would argue that this is a very masculine-driven society. And there's some truth. I believe there's some truth in that. But I do think that there is space for feminine energy. It's just, and I guess this is what my work involves, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm spending the time talking like this and, working with people. It's about that awareness and raising that awareness that this is what could be going on with you at the moment. Because I think we all describe things with our own language. So good. Yeah, we describe it with things that make sense to us. So what I'm saying probably won't resonate with people that wouldn't use that language. But that's what kind of has helped me make sense of my situation, and that's through talking, through networking, through finding people that are on a similar wavelength to me. People that the ugly duckling can find home with. Because I think some of this is about finding your own tribe, your own people that get you, that understand you, that know where you're coming from. And that's the kind of space that I'm in right now, where I'm, exploring the coaching business, or what that could mean, like that aspect of my life, what that could look like. Meanwhile, still, bringing some structure into my life again, earning some money so I can pour it into me and the business, because it's important for your needs to be met ultimately, like for you to feel, well, for me to feel some self-worth, because if I then start losing that, then it's going to have a knock-on effect in whatever else like this, or the coaching, or whatever else I decide to explore. It's going to have a knock-on effect with that. So yeah, learning to bring the two masculine, the feminine energies together and have them work together is the next phase for me. And I'm still learning, and there have been moments of clashing. Like I was questioning whether bringing the work into my life has been a good thing. But I was reflecting on this yesterday. There have been so many good things, so many good aspects that have come out of it. And I'm just learning to keep that conversation going more, rather than just be feeling it and coming from an emotive place. I'm learning to engage with, what is actually going on here, and is it helping me or is it hindering me? And that's only really possible when you allow yourself that space to explore that. And this kind of, in a nice kind of way, segues into my being circle, where I feel like that's a space to commit to, wanting to explore. Yesterday I held a session, and I'll put the link in the description below if you're keen or would like to explore. But yeah, like I found myself, what I'm doing at the moment is it's a 45-minute session, and for the first half an hour I found myself meditating, and for the latter bit I then decided to get my journal out, and this is where all this kind of reflection happened, what I'm kind of talking about here. So it's only until we allow ourselves that space to notice what's going on that we can, rather than be the victim of the situation, the incident, whatever it is, instead you take on this different role with it. You start engaging with it. You start wanting to ask yourself, what is actually going on here? What is serving me? So yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm giving it a go, you know. And that's what life is about, experimentation. And you won't know until you dip your toe. So I'm dipping my toe. Okay, well, I guess I'll leave it here for now. Thank you for joining me for another session of my random babbling. It's been good. And if you would like to keep the conversation going with me, you know where to find me. And hope you have a lovely Diwali if you're celebrating it. And if not, enjoy the rest of your weekend and your week. And we'll catch each other next week.